Hello my dear Scorpios, Alexa B Alchemy here for your weekly card pull. Today I'm going to be doing a reading for the week of February 20th, 2023, and this specific reading is channeled for all of my Scorpios, so if you have a Scorpio sun, moon, rising, and or north node, this one is for you. I apologize for any background noise going on right now. It should stop pretty soon here, but I am currently doing this reading in a hostel, so yeah. So, for those of you who have not tuned in before, welcome. I'm going to be doing a live pull for you guys today. So as I'm shuffling the deck, I'm going to start out with my Sacred Creators Oracle deck. I do want to just touch on something that is potentially impacting the collective this week. By the time I'm uploading this, either the 19th or the 20th, depending on your time zone, we will be in new moon energy. There's a new moon in Pisces, and the sun is also in Pisces, so there is a lot of water energy going on right now. Now, you are a Scorpio. Scorpio is a water sign. For those of you who are not super familiar with astrology or don't pay super close attention to it, long story short, water signs equals emotions. Emotions, feelings, the undercurrents. Really, it's the undercurrents of what goes on, so also intuition is a part of this. With any new moon, it's generally a good time for intention setting and figuring out what seeds you want to plant for the next cycle. With that being said, Pisces is the final of the zodiac signs in the astrological year. So because it is Pisces season and we'll be moving into Aries very soon, that basically translation means that we are kind of coming to the close of the last astrological year. So a lot of emotions can come with that, and as that pertains to setting intentions and whatnot, some people would more encourage you to focus your energy on setting intentions as they pertain to dealing with your emotions and or listening to your intuition a little bit more strongly. So just wanted to throw that out there. Yeah, just want to throw that out there because I do think that is a piece of the energy we are all navigating, so it's important to be sensitive to that. Now, my dears, and if you want more information on that, feel free to check out my TikTok. But, my dear Scorpios, kind of channeling back into this specific reading, let me see the cards. I pulled quite a few cards in reverse for you guys. With Oracle deck, this one specifically, any card pulled in reverse generally is asking you to start turning inward and looking at yourself, taking care of yourself. Maybe there are some imbalances that you are dealing with internally, and so it's a prompt for you to address those. So my Scorpios, the first one that's really sticking out to me is a card that says cozy up with risk. Now I did pull this in reverse, so upside down. In the upright, the card looks like this, and this card comes up in the reverse anytime you are either risk-taking too much or not enough. And I think the other cards are going to give a little bit more information about this specifically. I feel like for some of you, there might be risk-taking within one arena or one avenue of your life. So it's not necessarily like everything that you're doing. But your relationship to risk, I think, is something that you're going to be able to examine this upcoming week. Now, I also pulled for you guys in reverse, your soul shines. I pulled for you guys in reverse, the edge of evolution feels messy. Also in reverse, fierce serenity, and in the upright, collaboration of souls. So where do I want to start with this? I actually feel like I want to go to collaboration of souls first. Anytime this card comes up, there's an encouragement for you to do things in pairs, in partnerships, or to be willing to work collaboratively with other people. It doesn't have to be. Again, I feel like a lot of this reading is particular to a specific avenue or arena in your life. It doesn't mean you have to go get a boyfriend or girlfriend. It doesn't mean that you have to go get a work partner or business partner. It just means that there is something in the way of collaborating with other people that might be really beneficial for you. Even if at the very least that's like having a glass of wine with a friend and talking about what you're navigating. Moving back into what I had opened with the new moon in Pisces and the sun in Pisces right now, that emotional energy, there's an encouragement with that to reconnect to ourselves. So maybe taking a step back, reconnecting more deeply within ourselves. But in doing that, we actually open up space to connect with other people, because the more in tune you are with your emotions, the more readily you can share those. And when other people are doing likewise, it deepens your ability to connect. So I do feel like for some of you, there is potentially some really important opportunities you have when it comes to your connections. I also feel like for some of you, maybe a work connection could lead to something, or a personal connection could lead to a work connection. There's something in the way of work that you guys might want to be pay attention to. Yeah, main message with this one though, collaboration with like-minded people or people who appreciate to some degree your stance. This isn't really a time for you to be picking a bunch of battles and a bunch of fights with a bunch of people. Okay, the edge of evolution feels messy. In upright, card looks like this. Anytime you are about to go through a fairly large or life-changing transformation, if this card comes up in reverse, it's telling me that maybe some of you are finding it to be a little bit intimidating, a little bit messy, not really sure like what comes next. Maybe you want things to be really clean and really direct. Maybe you're looking for like straightforward answers and you feel like the universe is just not giving you those. If that's the case, there is a need for you to increase your level of trust. If you're kind of feeling like things are dark, you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, again, things are just feeling like messy and corroded and crazy, it might be helpful for you to begin accepting that this phase that you're in might be a phase that's helping you to develop your level of acceptance. There's a quote, I feel like I might have mentioned this in another reading today or yesterday, but there's a quote that I love. And if you are religious, I am not, I will just say that right now, but I love this quote because I love the sentiment that it professes, and I'm gonna butcher it, but someone, long story short, basically said, I asked God for strength and he gave me opportunities or situations in which I needed to be strong. I asked God for courage and he gave me opportunities, situations in which I needed to be courageous, so on and so forth. So I do feel that for some of you, maybe you asked for clarity and you feel like, I'm not getting it, and maybe that is a way for you to begin finding clarity from within instead of focusing on external things. Again, because this was in reverse, might be asking you to look a little bit more deeply within yourself. Yeah. Also, finally, with this card in reverse, giving yourself permission to fail in order to grow. My dear Scorpios, I feel like a lot of Scorpio energy is like super amazing, super phenomenal because it has this evolutionary propensity. Like Scorpio nature is very much about death and rebirth and that cycle and letting things go, and sometimes that can come in the way of your ambitions, if you will. Pisces is ruled by Neptune. Neptune is a planet of dreams, so maybe for some of you, you're feeling like there's a lot of emotionality, particularly around your dreams or your hopes or your longings for what your life would look like or what it would be or what you would be doing at this point. And if you're feeling like a failure in any way, shape, or form, my dear, you are not. Anytime that you don't achieve certain goals that you set for yourself, it is simply a way for you to learn. And if you did everything perfectly your entire life, I think you would find it quite boring and you probably wouldn't actually have that many lessons to share with others, with your kids, with your friends, etc. So definitely an encouragement for you to also embrace failure. And because I pulled up, again, these were both in reverse, because one card is a risk card and one card is really about accepting failure, I do feel like maybe some of you are hesitant to take risks that could actually be really healing for you. They could be really, healing for some of you for sure, really beneficial for you. And some of you are afraid to take those risks because you're afraid of failing. And it is possible, I'm gonna throw this out there, it is possible, my Scorpios, that in failing, you will actually find the healing, if you will. I know that might seem super counterintuitive. Let that shit sink in. Sit with that. Meditate with that idea, because it is possible that maybe one of your wounds, this is especially if you have Chiron and Virgo, if one of your woundings is in the way of perfectionism or feeling like you need to be perfect or things need to be perfect, maybe your healing will come from realizing that that's not always the case, and that's okay. Life's gonna go on. You're gonna be fine. I love this reading so much. I am also a Scorpio North Node, so I do resonate with this one quite heavily. Anyways, back into the reading. So I do feel like I want to read this one directly. So your soul shines in the upright when she looks like this. This card is about connecting with source. It's, note that the card is purple. There's a lot of third eye chakra energy with this one and connecting with your spirituality. In the reverse, however, the way that it was pulled for you, this has a degree of maybe getting in your own way or using your spirituality or the things related to your third eye, so spirituality basically, as an excuse for why you may be showing up or acting in the way that you are. And if that is the case, or even your spiritual bypassing, there's something in the way of like excuses with this one. Getting in your way, especially by excuses. And maybe the excuse is, oh, well, I feel like I need to be perfect. you know what, I think you know what your excuse or excuses are. So if that is the case, my dear Scorpio, take a minute to align your walk with your talk. Yeah, there may be a little bit of habit building that you, or habit breaking and then rebuilding for you guys with this one. But I do feel that some of you need to, or would benefit from looking at your relationship to spirituality. For some of you, I actually am getting that maybe because you have Scorpio energy and maybe your relationship to spirituality is non-attachment, maybe your non-attachment is causing you to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Dissociated in a way that is harmful for you and for other people. So I would just encourage you to examine whether or not that is the case, or in what ways you may be blocking yourself. Again, this is not accusatory or an accusation. It's possible that you're not blocking yourself, but I would encourage you to take a moment to take a step back and acknowledge whether or not that might be happening, especially when I see the edge of evolution feels messy, and the cozy up with the risk card. Especially when I see those, I do feel like there are some blockages that are happening in your own narratives about yourself and about your worth. And I think it's a lot higher than some of you may think it is. Finally, I pulled for you in reverse the card of Fierce Serenity. In the upright, she looks like this. This card is kind of like the equivalent of a peaceful warrior. There's definitely a choose your battles wisely element with this card, but there's also a level of patience being encouraged. Fierce Serenity is the ability to stand true to the things that are meaningful for you and to have patience with those. So maybe for some of you, there are certain projects or collaborations, I'm getting collaborations coming back again, that you really want to be working out like right now. And you're like, why is this not meshing, or this isn't working, blah, 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 and have patience with the unfolding of things. It's not necessarily going to happen all in one night, and you are potentially being tested, especially if you ask for patience. I think you may be tested in your patience right now to see that you actually already have it. Yeah, and another thing with this, with a self-care message, allowing your emotions to run wild or to come up. I think there's a balance with that, because there is the new moon in Pisces, sun in Pisces, there's a lot of that water energy, or Scorpio. Emotionality, if it's running super high, there's definitely, you need to find a balance with that. I feel like for some of you, you're letting those emotions run wild in a toxic way or in a bad way. Again, with this last card that I pulled, the Soul Shines, I feel like maybe for some of you, because you're so emotional, you're like maybe treating other people like shit, for lack of a better word, or not the way that you would actually want to be, and you are using being an emotional creature as an excuse, potentially. And if that is the case, my dears, finding a way to express and work through and honor your emotions, and I'm definitely not saying to bypass them. In fact, au contraire, I think some of you have been bypassing them, and you need to not do that. So again, with balance with your emotions, you need to be feeling them, you need to be allowing them to exist, especially with all the Piscean energy right now. It is a time for the collective to all be delving into that and opening to that. And if you don't, you are cutting yourself off from the gift of connection and collaboration with other people. Now, with that being said, if you go so deep in that, if you get so lost in the sauce that you cannot function, you cannot connect to other people, that might be a warning sign for you that maybe you need to pull back and examine your emotions from a little bit more of a place of healthy detachment, and to see like, okay, what's actually going on here? What's really like the bigger picture? I do feel called to pull from my Crystal Spirits deck just to see if there's any further clarification on dealing with your emotions, your emotionality, maybe advice for how might be helpful for you, or what might be helpful for you guys in this upcoming week. Yeah, so let me just see if any cards. Okay, we had like a whole pile fly out. I don't know that I want to go through all of them. Let's see if, okay, so there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards, not so bad. I'm gonna go through these pretty quick. Crystal clear quartz, this says whatever you're focusing on will amplify. So if you are focusing on your sadness, if you are focusing on the negative components of your emotional experience, I would encourage you to acknowledge that, even just if it's for the sake of acknowledging, like, oh, I'm focusing on the negative, or oh, I'm focusing on the things that make me sad. Hey, I'm not telling you to stop. It's okay if that's the case, but being aware of your patterns and being aware of what you are pulling your attention to, I think that could be helpful for you, my Scorpios. I did pull Orange Sapphire in reverse. I feel like some of you might be struggling a little bit with body love, or sensuality, sexuality. Also with this one, maybe a level of, yeah, orange sapphire. Okay, I want to make sure I read that right. Also, it could be a level of like not eating right, not having a good healthy diet. So make sure that you are taking care of your body in all of the capacities that it needs and wants to be taken care of. And yeah, I think a healthy relationship to your body is going to be important with this. Dumortierite, this card encourages you to find some clarity, especially by organizing yourself and your life. So if your emotions, honestly, okay, I feel like these two are advice cards. If your emotions get way like hella out of hand, my dear, notice what you are focusing on. Maybe get organized with it, write things down, write down how you're feeling, journal, I'll say it again, journal, write some poetry, journal, like write the shit down, get it out on a page. That is a form of expression that I feel like might help you to feel better. And it doesn't mean you can't express it to other people. It doesn't mean that you can't have conversations or express it emotionally or whatever, but I do feel like there's definitely a big element in writing that will benefit a lot of you, or some kind of creative expression. For some of you that might be like more artistic. Yeah, and also if you're feeling like emotionally cluttered, your environment is going to be reflective of your internal experience. So if that's causing you a level of overwhelm, I would definitely recommend a little bit of cleaning, some spring cleaning. I know we're not quite there yet in spring, but we're getting close. So maybe welcome that chapter pretty soon, or a little bit sooner. Finally, two more cards. I pulled for you guys Obsidian in the reverse, and this card is all about self-reflection and knowing yourself. So I think this one and the Dumortierite kind of come hand in hand. Journaling, spending some time with yourself. Because it's in reverse, really, really big importance for you anytime that you are in conversation with others and you're seeing things that trigger you, to really just take a step back and say like, oh wow, how is this making me feel? How am I reacting? What is my narrative? And just getting to know yourself and why you're showing up the way they're showing up. Again, observation. I feel like with this one and the clear quartz, like taking a step back and just observing what your reactions are like and what your experience is like. Sweet, sweet observation, my dear Scorpios. And finally, I also pulled for you guys the card of Aqua Aura Quartz. This card is all about connecting to infinite potential, a level of like renewed purpose and wonder and awe, kind of like if you feel like you've lost your spunk, maybe or have been in a little bit of a depressive state. This card indicates a level of pizzazz coming back, a little bit more joy coming back. So my Scorpios, if you're feeling discouraged, I would encourage you to tap into the things that make you feel purposeful, the things that make you feel like you have a little bit of potential. I also do feel that this is more of, I don't want to say an almond, but I do feel like this is more of a futuristic card of like, this is coming your way. Like you're going to find a level of purpose. We have Aries season coming up in a month. So if this emotionality is feeling super heavy for you, just know this is a season. This is part of a cycle. This is not going to last forever. You are going to escape these emotions and be able to pull yourself out of them. So if that gives you more comfort to dive more deeply, knowing you will get to pull back out of them when you are ready, and seasonally everyone will, feel free to use that and keep that in the back of your mind, because everything comes in seasons and cycles. And this one is telling me that there is some level of renewal and wonder and awe and excitement and kind of this like lens of a child that is coming your way. So my dear Scorpios, you are in some Scorpio energy right now, with some rebirths, some renewals. I think that's absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much, my loves, for tuning in. I really appreciate having you here. If you haven't already, I post these videos every single week, so make sure that you tap subscribe and also check out the videos for your other signs, especially Sun, Moon, Rising, and North Node. And if you found this to be helpful, or if you find that it resonated, please feel free to drop a comment below, or at the very least leave me a little thumbs up so that I know it struck home. And last but not least, you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, all social media at alexab.alchemy. I do offer one-on-one readings as well, so if you want me to expand on anything or you need a little bit of clarification on any of these topics, please shoot me a message and let me know. All right, my loves, I love you. Have a beautiful week, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, Scorpios.